Happy Sunday, everybody, wherever you are. We hope that you are having a great end to the year. And today we are representing conscious conversation for a new generation who is tired of bad habits and wants to improve their indulgences. Our episode is on indulgence, pleasure versus poison. So, what if the thing that feels most like relaxation is actually the thing killing your destiny? Some indulgences lift our chemistry, like exercising, reading, and fasting, while some corrupt the mind and bleed the household, like substance abuse, alcoholism, and gambling. Yet we keep trying to justify everything as acts of self care. I smoke because life is stressful. I use drugs because I am depressed. I gamble because I love the anticipation of the potential win. Clearly, the action in itself seems to be defeating the purpose. Smoking, drugs, and gambling are temporary thrills. The emotions referred to remain unless we turn around and face ourselves. So here's the question: are you indulging in what nourishes you or indulging in your own decline?
Now, when we consider why good versus bad indulgences matter, many young people aged 13 to 18 are socialized into indulgences first through peer pressure, then identity. Indulgences are the habits we form and the things we do, like eating sweets or biting nails. If the squad normalizes alcohol, vape culture, drugs, ultra processed food, then indulgence becomes part of belonging. Pleasure is a membership card, and teens adapt the fastest because humans choose bonding over biology. We are predisposed by nature to be social creatures. Belonging is a bigger drug than nicotine. We've been chasing this thrill since the dawn of civilization. Parents in South Africa, especially in our under resourced communities around the rural areas, the ghettos, and the townships, have at times been guilty of modeling the indulgences they later punish. Parents are the first examples to their children, and their behavior sets the tone. They end up exposing children to some of the detrimental behavior we have all come to love or loathe, such as excessive drinking, fast food dinners, weekend binges, watching Netflix all day. The concerning part in this is that many don't realize they are teaching micro patterns of emotional avoidance. Children observe how adults numb pain and they copy that behavior. Moral lectures therefore become powerless when they are displaying the behavior that they were simply taught by adults before.
So, tragically, in some cases, indulgence destroys trust before it destroys health. The father who promises, "I'll be there at 5 to pick you up, my boy," but drinks until 10 and forgets, breaks his son's inner architecture and creates issues that creep into the child's relationships and friendships when he grows older. Conversely, the mother who numbs stress with excessive sugar or gin intake unintentionally teaches her daughter that emotions in life may be doused by the comfort of bad habits, instead of teaching daughters about regulating emotions. This also causes issues in relationships and friendships when she grows older. In cases where we live without moderating our bad indulgences, death is never sudden. Arteries harden slowly. We ignore pain in our body out of fear, pride, and ignorance. And in this process, hope collapses quietly. Families implode 5 minutes at a time in some cases, sometimes through these seemingly harmless choices we call just a little treat and a girl or boy's night out.
Now, for part two, we do a data check to properly assess the real cost of bad indulgences in South Africa, but also a few case studies in the rest of the world. And we look at the data to ensure that we understand what the stats are trying to tell us. Now, for obesity in South Africa, a 2016 study found that 68% of women and 31% of men were either overweight or obese. In 2024, it was found that 23% of children under the age of 5 were either overweight or obese, and 21% of children between the age of 5 and 19. Now, this is a significant increase from previous years, with rates for children under 5 rising by 10% from 13. Now, in the globe, for the USA, 42% of adults are obese, while in Japan, only 4%. And this is down to an eating culture that has a clear negative impact on people. Now, in Japan, the culture seems a bit more refined. Meals are simple and not overindulgent, and we can look to Japan as the country with some of the highest life expectancy rates globally, sitting with an average expectancy of nearly 85 years old. Alcohol. In South Africa, South Africans consume 9.3 liters of alcohol per capita per year. Alcohol is linked to 62,000 deaths annually in South Africa, and this takes up about 10% of the total mortality. Drugs. The Western Cape treatment data shows that meth and or tik remains a dominant substance in admissions for 2022 to 2023.
So, for two South African short stories on indulgences, we're looking at bad indulgence stories regarding drugs. So, Aiden is a 19-year-old from Hanover Park who started vaping at 14. The flavor he tried was just peach ice. By 15, his crew passed him mandrax. By 17, he is mixing tik to keep the high stable. His appetite drops. He becomes a skeleton. His mother stops giving him grocery money, so he steals her bank card. The house locks all its rooms on him, and one night he collapses at a random bus stop. The MCC says respiratory failure, but his friends say, I swear he was fine just last week. And then the second bad indulgence story is on food, and it's regarding a 27-year-old named Sureya, and she's in Athlone, works in retail, and her lunch is always fries, Gatsby, and cola. This is a combo sold at one of the local fast food restaurants. Because it's cheap and nice, she tends to buy it almost every day, and at 25 a doctor already warned her about hypertension. At 26 she's pre-diabetic, and then at 27 in the present moment she collapses at work. Her arteries didn't care whether the toxin was cocaine or corn syrup. The funeral pamphlet uses a picture from when she was 19 because she didn't want to be captured the way she looked at the end. And I only laugh sarcastically because why does it have to get that bad before we wake up?
Now, different to the two examples of participating in bad indulgences, let's have a listen at a good example. Now, Tandu is 16 and she stays in Gugule too and joins a park run with her auntie to stay fit and sharp for school and life. Saturday becomes sacred to her. She meets girls from Langa, Kales River, and Nyanga. Her new friends invite her on Wednesdays to meet up to connect, talk about life, and she experiences they go through as young women. So Tando starts to feel herself grow as a person, and her leadership skills grow consequently too. At these get togethers, no one says it's in the name of mental health, but internally, their dopamine is clean and they become better people for forming healthy connections with one another. In this case, their indulgence is meaning, not numbness, nor envy, nor bitterness. The teachers notice their grades jump as well. The parents notice their rooms are cleaner. The same energy and culture is being used and practiced in different directions. Positive actions compound.
So, three actionable steps that are medically rooted and culturally relevant. One is to try and swap indulgence instead of quitting pleasure. Replace one ultra processed meal, whether you're craving fast food, Viennas, or cold meats. Try and instead prepare one homemade plate with a protein and a veg. Basic is best. Make your ancestors proud. South African evidence is that small calorie reductions and high fiber lowers long-term diabetes risks, and this is from the South African Medical Research Council. And then the second actionable step is community pacing. If you live in the Cape Flats or in townships, form micro rituals, which could be one 60-minute shared walk on a Sunday. Why? Because replacing alcohol centric belonging with movement centric belonging lowers relapse rates among people who might be addicted to alcohol. And then three is the 200 Rand indulgence audit. Every Saturday, take 200 Rand. Decide beforehand. One third fun, one third nourishment, one third future. This reframes indulgence as allocation, not impulse.
Now, indulgence architects destiny. Poison and medicine are sometimes the same molecule. Dosage plus intention determines the ultimate direction, though. Prosperity is a form of chemistry. Serotonin is shaped by ritual, not romance. If we want thriving townships, families, Cape coloured and black futures, indulgence has got to serve purpose, not escape. Here's what you can do this week.
Tonight, we confronted a hard mirror. Indulgence is a vote we cast daily for decay or development.
If this unlocked a new perspective, subscribe, comment, and share how you'll re engineer indulgence this week. Thank you. See you next time.
Thanks.